the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
Hey guys, it's Sean O'Connell, the managing editor here at CinemaBlend, and it is DC FanDome Day. We're going to be talking about all of the exciting content that Warner Brothers and DC are bringing to the fans. And since the show kicked off with The Rock and Black Adam, we had to jump right on our cameras and talk about all the exciting stuff that The Rock decided to bring to the audience. I love the fact he called the audience his boss. Yeah. So I had to get on with one of our DC experts, Law Sharma, who joins us from the video team. Hey Law, how are you?
Doing super well. Super stoked to talk Black Adam with you.
Especially based on what we saw. And I want to get into, we're going to talk about his costumes, we're going to talk about the powers, and we really want to get into his origins of what they showed right here. But before we get into our analysis, if you're watching us here on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Follow along with everything that we're posting to our channels. Law, right before they showed the footage, I know that they were giving us a ton of concept art, and the costumes really caught your eyes. What was it about them that really made you sit up and pay attention?
Well, I mean, the fact that we got Dr. Fate's helmet was a big deal for me.
Sure, yeah.
Also, Hawkman's emblem, Atom Smasher, Cyclone, but more importantly, we got to see Dwayne Johnson in full Black Adam garb for the first time.
So cool.
Outside of the concept art.
Yep.
And yeah, it looks so good.
It does look good. It kind of riffs off of Shazam a little bit. I'm really glad that they kept the lightning bolt chest. And, you know, the cloak. I worry about the cloak a little bit in action. We learned from The Incredibles that cloaks and capes are a bad idea.
No kicks!
And also, some of this was the fact that I think they were going to try to do costumes in a CGI fashion. The way they did with Aquaman, but you were talking about the fact that they were like these textures and panels that almost stood out. Do you think they're going to try to do some actual practical live action physical costumes here?
Yeah, you know, you've seen on set images of kind of teasers of The Rock wearing the actual textured suit. But what I like about the textures is that they seem more durable than Shazam. They seem a little bit more like tough, I feel like. Maybe it's the coloring. Just the fact that it's like dark and brooding, but I am excited because he's been teasing this like hierarchy of power changing in the DC universe for a while now, right?
He loves that line.
He does love that line. I was not surprised to hear it today. But yeah, I really like the approach to the costume because it feels very DCEU, but it also feels like it's going towards in a direction where maybe, like, you know, James Wan's Aquaman had so many colors and textures, and Shazam obviously felt like a different realm almost. It was very colorful.
Well, but in the powers, we're going to get to his powers and what they showed off, and I really think that in the footage that was shown, this is just a sliver of the types of things that Black Adam is going to be able to do. The things that stood out to me was that they do sort of riff off a little bit of what Shazam is capable of doing, and I know that they come from different origins, but they're loosely tied to each other, and so you do get to see Black Adam controlling some form of lightning that's at his power grasp, essentially. He's bulletproof, something that Shazam learned in his origin story, that he also is bulletproof. And then we see an instance where Black Adam grabs a guy by the throat and holds him until he essentially turns him to dust. And I think that's worth noting because Black Adam's not a hero. And I think they're going to portray him as a bit of an anti-hero. But the fact that he kills somebody in the first opening scene footage that we see from him sends a very distinct message about the type of character that we're going to get out of this movie.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, right? That they want him to feel like a fitting villain for a universe that has Wonder Woman and Superman in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It needs to raise that bar.
If he's talking about the power dynamic shifting, then I want to see some truly original things out of him that make me fear for, you know, the potential of the DC heroes as they exist. Let's talk real quickly about his origin too. This is a movie that, especially based on the concept art that was shown in the video, it can span centuries, essentially. But the opening scene definitely takes place in a very modern time. So what were you excited to see about his origin in this footage?
Well, it looks like they're taking the New 52 approach with his origin story. So he's an ancient guy. He got the powers a long time ago, and he was trapped magically for thousands of years. So the idea is that he gets brought back out of his magical prison and he's after the wizard's power. that seems very in line on what we're going to be getting. But because we have the JSA involved, I have to imagine that they are called in to try to deal with the threat of Black Adam, and we'll get all of his ancient Egyptian origin stuff. I imagine he'll be a slave, just like the New 52 comic, and then we'll see him kind of, you know, what events transpire that give him the power. And then we'll obviously have to see some kind of conflict that leads to him being imprisoned.
You know, anytime that you mention magical prisons and wizards law, I'm in 100%. You don't have to tell me that the Rock is playing this superhero. I'm coming anyway, but wizards, the JSA and magic prisons, forget it. I'm buying 2 tickets to
Pierce
this thing
Brosnan's there.
Oh gosh,
Aldous
Hodge looks fantastic. Yeah. So listen, tip of the iceberg for DC FanDome. They kicked it off with Black Adam. The footage looks fantastic. You can go see it right now on CinemaBlend. Make sure that you keep it here all day long. We're going to be bringing you updates from all the cool, exciting footage that we see out of the DC universe. And if you're here on our YouTube channel, please hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and as soon as a new video drops, you'll be the first one to come watch it.